Ever just catch yourself watching those cooking videos online? You know, the ones where the chefs make everything look so easy?
Oh, totally.
I mean, I do. But actually feeling confident in the kitchen? That's a whole other thing, right?
Yeah, it really is. I see it all the time. People want to bridge that gap, go from admiring to actually having those skills.
Definitely. And that's where a place like Culinary Guru comes in. They've piqued our interest. It's a cooking school based in Hyderabad, India.
Hyderabad, interesting.
Yeah. They're generating some buzz with their unique approach.
What have you heard that makes them so unique?
Well, for starters, they're not just a typical cooking school. We found out they offer both on-campus classes and online courses.
Oh, that's smart. So they're catering to different learning styles.
Exactly. Whether you're someone who likes to be hands-on or prefers to learn at your own pace, they've got an option.
That's a really thoughtful approach. It recognizes that everyone learns differently. Not everyone thrives in a busy classroom setting.
Absolutely. And get this, they even have a special weekend cooking camp designed just for kids.
Now, that's something I want to hear more about.
We'll dive into that for sure. But first, let's unpack what makes Culinary Guru stand out from other cooking schools.
Sounds good. What have you learned about them so far?
Well, their story's pretty cool. Culinary Guru was founded back in 2018 by two childhood friends.
Wow, childhood friends, you don't hear that every day.
I know, right? It gets better. One friend, Chef Srinubabu Dhulipalla, is the culinary expert, and the other, Kalyan Kumar Pinjala, is a tech guru.
Wow, talk about a dynamic duo. That's amazing.
Right. Combining their skills and passion seems to be their recipe for success.
It sounds like a great partnership. So it's Culinary Guru. They want to be your guide, right? Like your mentor in the kitchen.
Exactly. But what else makes them different?
From what I understand, they are really big on hands-on learning.
Yeah.
Like they have these live cooking sessions where students can try all sorts of techniques, knife skills, making dishes.
It's so true. It makes you think about that whole idea of learning by doing. You're not just reading about it, you're actually getting that experience.
Right, and getting that feel for the ingredients, how the flavors work together.
Yes. It's about building that confidence to experiment in the kitchen. I read that they even organize food festivals.
Oh, wow. That's a great way for students to show off what they've learned.
Exactly. And they have this no age limit philosophy, which I love. Classes for everyone, from young kids to, well, anyone really.
That's fantastic. So they have something for everyone.
They do. And they even bring in celebrity chefs to lead some workshops and master classes.
Now that is a cool opportunity to learn from the best.
Absolutely. And speaking of learning from the best, they really emphasize the expertise of their instructors.
Makes sense. You want to learn from people who really know their stuff.
Right. But it's more than just experience. They want instructors who are passionate about teaching, people who can break things down and really inspire a love for cooking. And it's not always about becoming a professional chef, is it? Learning to cook is something everyone can benefit from, no matter how old you are.
You're so right. It's a life skill, and Culinary Guru seems to get that, especially with their program for kids.
Right. Their Weekend Kids Cooking Camp. It's designed to get kids excited about cooking, from ages 6 to 15.
That's such a fun idea. So what kind of things do they do at this camp?
Well, and this is what impressed me. It's not just about following simple recipes. They've actually put together a curriculum.
Oh, wow. So they're actually teaching them real culinary skills.
Yes. And they introduce them to all sorts of cuisines. One weekend, they might be learning how to make French macarons.
Fancy.
I know, right? And then the next, they're exploring Thai curry. It's amazing.
That's incredible, exposing them to all those different flavors at such a young age.
Exactly. Can you imagine kids as young as 6 learning things like chocolate tempering or why bread rises? It's fantastic.
It's those kinds of things that a lot of adults haven't even mastered.
Right. And I love that they emphasize safety in the kitchen, too, especially with younger kids.
Oh, of course, that's so important. So how do they incorporate that into the camp?
Well, they have age-appropriate safety guidelines and practices throughout the whole program.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You want them to feel comfortable and confident, but safety is key.
Now, we mentioned this before, but I wanted to come back to it. The program is actually accredited by CGIHM, Culinary Guru's Institute of Hotel Management.
Right, so it's not just a fun little weekend thing. It's actually got some weight behind it.
Exactly. It could even be a stepping stone for kids who might want to pursue a culinary career later on.
Absolutely. So they're really getting a head start. This is making me wish I had something like this when I was a kid.
Me too. Okay, so for our listeners who are thinking, okay, this sounds amazing, but what does a typical weekend actually look like? Let's walk through a few examples.
Let's do it. Paint us a picture. What are some of the highlights?
Okay, so weekend 1 starts strong with butter cookies and pink lemonade.
Classic. I can already smell those cookies baking.
Right. It's perfect for introducing kids to the basics of baking. Measuring, working with dough, all that good stuff.
And what kid doesn't love pink lemonade?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then for weekend 2, they've got eggless cookies and fresh green salads.
Okay, so they're thinking about dietary needs too.
Absolutely. They make sure all the kids can participate no matter what, which is great.
It's a good lesson too, learning to adapt recipes and be mindful of different dietary needs.
Now, weekend 5 caught my eye. Waffles and fresh fruit tart.
Oh, yum. That sounds like the perfect brunch menu.
Right. Those fluffy waffles with fresh, colorful fruit.
Delicious. And I bet they're learning about balancing flavors too. The sweetness of the waffles and the tartness of the fruit.
Exactly. But it's not all sweets and treats. Weekend 6 features healthy veg wraps and chocolate tempering with watermelon mocktail.
Now that's what I call a well-rounded menu. Healthy and fun.
Right. And it shows that healthy eating doesn't have to be boring. Plus, they're learning chocolate tempering.
Right. That's impressive. I wonder what other culinary adventures they have in store.
Weekend 10, they're making Mexican corn and blue lagoon mocktail.
Okay, so we're going global. I love it.
Right. Exposing them to different cultures through food. It's brilliant.
It really is. Sounds like each weekend is a new adventure.
It is. Now, for anyone listening who's thinking about signing their kids up, let's get into the details.
The important stuff. Lay it on us.
Okay, so the next camp runs from November 2nd, 2024 to January 11th, 2025.
Got it. Mark those calendars. And it's every weekend.
Every Saturday. Sessions are from 9:30 in the morning to 1:00 p.m.
Okay, so a nice chunk of the day. Where is it held again?
The TGIHM campus in Hyderabad.
Right, of course. And what about class sizes? Are we talking big groups?
No, they keep them small, which I think is great, especially for kids who are just starting out.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. More one-on-one attention that way, so they can really focus on each kid. Any other need-to-know info?
Early bird discounts if you register by September 30th, 2024.
Ooh, discounts. Always a bonus.
Right. So there you have it. Culinary Guru, not your average cooking school.
No, not at all. It's so much more than that. They're really cultivating a love for cooking.
And it's for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're already a whiz in the kitchen or just starting out, they've got something for you.
I love that. It's never too early or too late to learn something new, especially something as fun as cooking.
Exactly. And imagine your child, filled with confidence, whipping up a meal for the family, maybe even teaching you a thing or two.
Now, that's a rewarding experience.
It really is. Culinary Guru, it's more than just recipes. It's about connecting with food, with other people, and with yourself. It's about discovering a passion that can last a lifetime.